Happy New Year, everybody. I want to thank you all for all your support, for watching me this entire year, and some of you long before that. And I want to wish you well. I want to wish your family, your loved ones, everybody, you and yours, Happy New Year. All the best for 2023. And in 2023, I'm going to begin my 11th year. In May, it'll be 11 years that I've been doing the Mean Mr. Mayo channel. And I'm excited about a couple of changes here that I have, a couple of good things, a couple of changes that, I don't know how they'll go over, but please be sure to leave comments if I've missed anything you want to know about, anything you want me to elaborate on, etc., etc., etc. Please leave it in the comments below. Well, okay, I'm happy to see 2022 go. I was happy to see 2020 go. I was happy to see 2021 go. This COVID stuff is really just, getting everybody down. And 2023, I look forward to a good year. So here we go. Let's start out with a couple of things I think people are going to find interesting or like. First of all, in 2023, I'm going to be going back to a feature I used to do that I stopped. And I know a lot of people have been wanting it back. So I'm going to start from scratch. And that is the Beatles solo reviews, okay? Beatles solo albums, I'm going to do reviews, not necessarily rankings of songs, that's another thing later. I do that on my Fab Gab show a lot. We'll talk about that a little bit too. So yeah, I'm going to be doing the Beatles solo albums reviews again. I don't think they're going to be in any particular order. You never know which album you're going to get. We can start out at 2000, a release from 2000. We can go back to 71, and then we can go to, 93 and so forth. So you never know what order the solo reviews are going to be done in. So I find that kind of interesting. It'll keep me on my toes, keep everybody on their toes. So next up, you might notice that I'm doing some more interviews. Interviews is something I've been meaning to get into around here and never really went whole hog into it. You can look in my Fab Gab playlist and you'll see I did a couple of interviews in 2022. One of them was with Madeline Baccaro, who's the Yoko Ono authority, and the other one was with Laurie Kay, who was one of the members of the team at RKO Radio who conducted the very last interview with John only hours before he was killed. And I've decided I want to get into more interviews. So I think the interviews in 2023 are going to be brought up more. You're going to see me talking with more people. So those are two positives that I'm looking forward to in the new year 2023 on the Mayo channel. All right. Okay, as far as the record store reality videos that I do, a lot of people love the record store reality videos. I remember one guy jokingly saying to me over and over again one time, I love those record store reality videos where you hang out in the store with your buddies. That's your bread and butter. Well, in a way, yes, they do very well. They get a lot of views, but the Beatles are really what get the most view here, but the record store videos, a lot of people like those and enjoy them, and I enjoy doing them. And as long as I can get new footage, and as long as I can hang out at the record store, as long as I'm still living here where I live now before I move, which is going to happen in the months or years to come. I don't know how soon. I'm going to keep on doing those record store videos. So the record store videos will continue, and I'm sure a lot of you will like those. All right, flea market videos. Not just flea markets, but going to thrift stores, Things like flea market videos, out and about with friends, hanging out with my friends, Anthony, Robert S., Julio and Richie. Those kind of things will still happen. I'll be going to flea markets when I can, thrift stores when I can. So you'll be getting a lot of that kind of shopping around and hanging out with friends, kind of, what do you call it, out and about videos, get-togethers. So those will continue. All right, let's see now. I want to talk about my Fab Gab show. I have a show called Fab Gab. A lot of you don't know about it. If you check on the playlist, you can look at a whole repertoire, I think 30-something episodes now that I have. Most of the time, the Fab Gab episodes deal with getting together with other people, and we just discuss certain songs from Beatles or solo Beatles albums, and we rank them from our least favorites to our most favorites. And those are fun because it's audience participation. When I do those, I like to involve you. It's kind of an interaction thing. You can also join in, and you can pick the songs in advance before we do the show, what you think are least to most favorites, or worst if you want, to best if you want. And I usually do that, usually do it live, and therefore I can bring your comments up here on the screen and we can talk about your comments as well as ours. But FabGab is not just going to be exclusively about ranking songs. There are other discussions we're going to do, and we've done. If you look at my FabGab playlist, you'll see we've talked about the Revolver album when it came out. We've talked about the United States albums, Beatles US albums. We've talked about Get Back, when Get Back was big. We've talked about merchandising. Is merchandising getting out of control? It is. When it comes to like the McCartney colored vinyl albums, there are all kinds of topics that can be found on FabGab. And FabGab has no set time. There's no set time that we do it. Whenever it's right, whenever I can get people together to do it, and with free schedules, we do it. So very excited to continue the FabGab show going into 2023. Okay, I want to talk also about live streams. I do a lot of live streams. A lot of people say, why don't you keep your live streams up? A lot of times we just hang out and we kind of have like a lounge, coffee hour. I bring up 2, 3, 4, 6, 9 people up here, and we just shoot the shit, really is what it comes down to, and just talk about anything that comes to our minds. And those videos I don't usually leave up permanently. I just don't want my channel to consist of that kind of thing all the time. So that's the kind of thing, if you happen to catch me live doing those, you can hang out and watch us. Sometimes you can join in the comments. It depends. When there are only 2 of us, we can interact with you in the comments. When there are 6 or 9 of us, it's hard to keep an eye on the comments, and we just kind of talk amongst ourselves. That's kind of how that goes when you have a lot of people up there. Those kind of live streams are not really, planned all the time. They're just whenever I feel like it. So those could pop up anytime. You really should subscribe if you want to catch them, and also hit that bell, because I think the bell gives you the notifications of when I'm going to be on. So do that, and hopefully you'll catch any of those live streams you don't want to miss. Also, about live streaming, let's talk about Q&As. I have this series, and you can, again, access it from the playlists. It's very important to check the playlist. Let me just go into that. Check the playlist feature. A lot of people don't utilize it. If you go into playlists, you can see all kinds of stuff neatly arranged for you. Beatles finds, new things I get, memorabilia, records, etc. CDs, whatever it is, books, so you can do that. But the Q&A live streams is a series that I do called Catch Up with Mayo. And Catch Up with Mayo basically is just me by myself reaching out to my audience. And you can ask questions, you can talk with me, and I love doing that. I've always maintained from day one, when I started this in May 2012, that what I want to do is I want to have a rapport with all of you out there. I've gotten to the point now, I get so many comments, you can understand. I can't always respond to each and every person, but I do read each and every comment, and I try to at least put a heart next to each one, so you know that I've read your comment, okay, for the most part. So I always love feedback, always love to discuss things, always love to interact with you, make you feel like, I'm paying attention to you. There's nothing that I dislike more personally than when I'm invested in somebody's channel, and you talk to them, you leave comments, and they just don't know you exist or don't care to even respond. That's always been a problem with me. I say, while I can't respond to every single comment, I can leave at least a heart to let you know I acknowledge you and thank you. So I appreciate that very much. These Q&As, the Catch Up with Mayo series that I do, I try to put them on certain times. It's going to be tough from now till about June, summertime. I'm probably going to be doing them Sunday mornings at about 9:30 a.m. Eastern. So I don't know if that works for everybody, but that's right now the best time that I can do them. That'll be Sunday mornings, 9 to 9 or 9:30 start time. That's a.m. in the morning, Eastern time. And sometimes I do these Q&As, catch up with Mayo, just when I feel like it. Unannounced different times if I have some time. So you never know. Just hit that bell, make sure you get notified. All right, now let's talk about a couple of interesting changes that I don't. These are the ones I'm not sure how people are going to feel about it. So I'm just telling you what I'm doing. The first one is the rant videos that I do here. A lot of people have told me they're here just for the rants. They love the videos when I let my George Costanza come out. You know, I tend to sound like George Costanza when I rave. Now I'm trying an experiment. I'm not sure whether this is going to stick or not. The rant videos in the series that I do called Rant Sid Mayo, those videos are for the most part going to be done elsewhere. If you like the rant videos, if you're here on my Mean Mr. Mayo channel primarily for rant material, to hear me scream about things that irritate all of us and carry on, I'm going to be doing those on my movie channel. I have a movie channel. The movie channel is called Mayo After Dark. So please subscribe, by the way, to Mayo After Dark if you like movies and TV shows and things like that that are not really to do with music. The rant videos are going to be put over there. Whenever I do a new rant video, the rant video is going to be uploaded over at Mayo After Dark. Now, one exception though, I'm going to leave some rant videos here on this channel that have to do with music. If the rant in question is music related, for example, I've done videos where I rant because they sent me a record album in terrible packaging, and Amazon is not to be trusted with their lousy packaging. Sometimes the way the vinyl is packed, shipped, and bent. Those kind of music or record related things will be here. One time I ranted about, have you ever listened to certain greatest hit CDs, the best of, and they kind of put live versions on there or re-recordings? They're not the original versions that you know of. They're not the original recordings, but they're re-recordings, reissued, redone by the same artists, or live versions. Something like that annoys me about that. Anything music related, you'll still see a Rancid Mayo video now and then pop up here. But I'd say 90% of the rant videos are going to be now over on Mayo After Dark. So please subscribe over there. Now, I said this was an experiment, and I stick by that because I really don't know. I'm going to see how it goes. If I feel they're not working over there, they were better on Mean Mr. Mayo, I'll put them back here. Okay, so I'm going to be experimenting. This is an experiment stage. But for now, you got to get over to the other channel if you like the rant videos. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about, and I'm saving this for last, it's probably the biggest change. When I started this channel, Mean Mr. Mayo, the reason that I began it originally was because I was getting back into collecting vinyl records. And I still love vinyl records. The thing is, I have decided that, and you know about this, some of you, I've decided to purge my collection big time. When I say purge the collection, I'm talking about not Beatles, not solo Beatles, although there are some Beatles and solo Beatles. You can see a few here, down here. There are a few Beatles and solo Beatles albums that I will want to kind of tighten up a little bit. There are some doubles or triples of certain titles. Maybe I'll sell those. But I'm going to be purging the collection. And I will say now that when it comes to non-Beatles related vinyl, I'm thinking that 75% of it in this room and elsewhere in the house is going to be sold. Sold, traded, given away, etc. That's going to be a slow process over the next year. I'm going to talk about that more in a dedicated video. I'll make a separate video later, look for it, where I talk more specifically about why I'm getting out of vinyl. But, and this is important, just because I'm not collecting non-Beatles vinyl much anymore, that does not mean that I'm not listening to other music, just that I'm going to collect them on CDs. So for anybody who's here for vinyl, you're still going to see me buy the occasional vinyl. I mean, there's certain artists I'm still interested in collecting their vinyl. Joan Jett, Bob Dylan, Elvis Presley. There are some people that I'm going to want to keep vinyl on them. Maybe Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I'm not sure yet, but there's certain artists I'm gonna have my favorites that I'm gonna keep the vinyl on. But if you're here primarily for vinyl, you're gonna see a decrease in vinyl, but it's not gonna go away altogether, okay? Because you're going to see Beatles. Beatles vinyl is always going to be bought whenever I can find something interesting to upgrade or expand upon, and solo Beatles. So the goal is to have my non-Beatles vinyl material listened to on CDs. And I will, as I say, I'll make a video where I talk more exclusively, more specifically about that. So yeah, it's going to be, the CDs are going to be coming up. You're going to see me doing CD finds. Vinyl finds go down a bit. And that's what's going to happen. That's the biggest change, I think. Now, that's really all I have to say. Again, thank you so much, and I'm hoping that your new year is great. I will say again, please check out my other channels. I have a couple of channels. One of them, as I mentioned earlier, is Mayo After Dark. Mayo After Dark, where I do movies, television, and in addition to movies and television now, rant videos about things that really piss me off. So go over to Mayo After Dark for that. Also, please check out and subscribe to Talk More Talk, a solo Beatles video cast. That's where we discuss pretty much anything to do with the solo Beatles careers, John, Paul, George, and Ringo, and sometimes Beatles stuff too. I do that with Ken Michaels, Kit O'Toole, and also Tom Hunyadi. That's over on the YouTube channel, Talk More Talk. Thank you, everybody. Let's hope it's a good new year without any fear.